That's going to blow some minds. Number 8. Reality that all we see in the physical is a holographic imprint directed and created from a higher portion of ourselves. Apparently, in the next 18, 19 years, we as a race are going to evolve over 150 years. It's going to be like that. Which is the way it should be. I mean, for every, I don't know if you're aware of this, but for every 2 years that passes, military technology advances 44 years. You have any idea the toys they have that you paid for? I mean, it's awesome stuff. And of course, they don't want to let us play in the sandbox. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Would you go back to the one that you said before you said we were about over 150 years? In the next how many years?
In the next 18 years, we are supposed to evolve over 150 years.
And then there was a statement you made before that. All that we see
in the physical is a holographic imprint directed and created from a higher portion of ourselves. Number 9. Human consciousness is not in the brain, but located in its entirety in the energy field and aura. This is the 1.5 to 5 ounces that the body loses at the moment of death. That's who you are. That's the only part of you that's really you. You just create this to play the game here. Okay. Number 10. How our past and present educational processes have not prepared us to be completely conscious, creative thinkers. Number 11. That organic and plant life forms do exist on 7 planets and 15 moons in our solar system. Yes, ma'am. Number 11. That organic and plant life forms do exist on 7 planets and 15 moons in our solar system. Now, just because we don't have the technology to pick it up doesn't mean it isn't there. Okay? Number 12. Rediscovery that each of us is a part of the whole of the universe, and we are a significant part of that idea that we call God. And that God is the idea called love. Number 13. That this accelerating self-discovery being experienced was created and activated by all of us. So, well, sir, that's the $64,000 question. If you get that answer, will you call me and let me know? I guess when I look at history, and I look at where we are today, there's a history of history repeating itself. And, it's like a hamster that climbs on the wheel. No matter how fast he goes, as long as he stays on that wheel, he's not going anywhere. So maybe we just needed to make a change. Maybe we're all sick and tired of this. Maybe we need like a vacation. My understanding, sir, is that they are different. Your consciousness is completely different. And this is important. There is a physicality on all dimensions. Okay? Because there's a physicality. It's different from us. For example, fifth density, we live in a color spectrum of 72 colors or light frequencies. Fifth density is 214. That's a major shift. That's a major shift. Number 14. That we, as a product of extraterrestrial genetic manipulations, are possessors of a vast gene pool that has many different racial memory banks of at least 22 extraterrestrial races in our DNA. Many different racial memory banks. That means that when things get a little bit higher, our kids, you're going to start knowing things that you don't have any idea how you know. But you do know it. You will know languages. that haven't been spoken on this planet for thousands and thousands of years. You will just know because it's inside of us. We're a library. Barbara Marciniak, her piece, they talk about this as well. And I think some of the other groups do. Because of our genetic heritage, we are considered royalty. We need to acknowledge it, acknowledge ourselves, and seize our genetic heritage. Now, I'm going to end on this. I'm going to end on two things. I was having a particularly bad month. Personal relationships and just everything else. And it was time for me to come back here. I was living in Lake Arrowhead at the time, which is in Southern California. And I didn't want to come back. I flat just did not want to come back. So I got really upset. I started to cry, and I didn't want to come back. And as I found myself on the ground again, I remember I heard Visayas' voice in the back of my head. He said, "Turn around." I turned around, and he was at the door of the craft as it was starting to take off. And he looked at me and he said, "Alex, the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry, lifetime after lifetime." And I just want to pass that on to you. Because nothing else that they have said has changed me more significantly than that. Yes, the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry, lifetime after lifetime.
With that thought, Alex, you disturbed me a while ago. You didn't have it yet, and yet you just defined your intent. What gave you the idea that you did not have it?
It's a belief in oneself, sir. I think that's what it is. It's a belief in oneself.
A belief in the God.
Well, yeah. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. I'm trying to think of all of myself away here. Hold on. I want to end up with this. I'm done with this. Squeaking and squawking and buzzing. I once asked Visayas.
Wrong microphone.
I once asked Visayas.
Put that one.
God. I once asked Visayas, okay, what was our future going to be? The future of us here on Earth. And this was his response. This is the Andromedan definition of our future, us as a race. Responsible freedom of self-determination. Becoming truly self-confident and free to unconditionally be responsible for oneself without being coerced to accept some higher authority. I'm going to read it one more time. Responsible freedom of self-determination.
Okay.
Folks, thank you for coming. Becoming truly self-confident and free to unconditionally be responsible for oneself without being coerced to accept some higher authority. Ladies and gentlemen, you're awesome. Don't let anybody tell you different. Go out there and kick ass. Thank you.
I want you to know about this. When Alex and Carla came, I told them they could have a table with tapes, books, as most speakers do. They do not do that. They live on a sort of a phased way of living, but they do have people in California who handle their tapes. And these free brochures are up here, and other things of his are in this Andromedan, or the letter from Andromeda, which is free, and it's up here on the front table. So you can pick that up as you leave. Also, if you want a copy of the directory of membership,